Senate President Bill Ferguson says there are but 38 Senate amendments in the budget that emerged from the Budget and Taxation Committee, the fewest number in years. But there were a number of attempts to add a few more when the bill hit the Senate floor, including one to prevent the use of taxpayers' money for abortions.
I think my issue more than anything is that just somebody getting abortion because they just can get an abortion, I believe is an issue because they just can and use the taxpayer money for that. But for health reasons and for mental health reasons, you know, we do have areas in the state of Maryland where they can get help and get counseling, and we've provided that in every way.
Our insurance law requires people with private insurance have coverage for abortion. So the reason we have Medicaid funding for abortion in Maryland is to ensure that people who do not have the same assets have the same access to the right to choose.
Another amendment to use $300 million designated for future years for the state's education blueprint for Maryland's future. It would be used to reduce the state's retirement tax.
I say rather than try to save all this money and put this money aside for future years, that we do something that I think all of us believe is very important, and that's to try to get the retirees and the seniors that are living and that have grown up in Maryland and been in Maryland for a long period of time to stay here.
But the chair of the Budget and Taxation Committee said that would prove costly to the state.
What it actually does is takes that $300 million that would have gone into the fund as described, but that $300 million is a one-time expense. The proposal that's embedded underneath what is being proposed, if that bill were to pass, just over the next, I believe, 4 fiscal years, is $3 billion cost. And so I don't know where we would come up with the rest of that money, quite frankly.
And that amendment, like the others from the floor, all failed. Among the differences in the House and Senate versions of the budget is that allocation for the blueprint for education that goes beyond the next fiscal year. The House bill adds $400 million to an additional $500 million the governor included from funds left over from last year, for a total of $900 million. The Senate reduced that to an extra $300 million on top of the governor's $500 million additional allocation. Another difference, funding for the BOOST program, which provides publicly funded scholarships for students from low-income families, allowing them to attend private schools. The Senate restored money cut by the governor in the program and eliminated the language that would phase it out altogether.
All right.
In the end,
House Bill 200 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call.
the budget moved forward.
With 47 votes in the affirmative, House Bill 200, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed.
And now heads back to the House. I'm Sue Copen for State Circle.